Do you have a hard time keeping up with all the things that are going on with your kid? Right? I hear it all the time from parents. And what we've decided to do is put together a short little video explaining what we're going to be covering with students at various points in their training this month. Right? What character concept we're talking about with beginner students, what character concepts we're talking about with more advanced students, what our challenge is for Black Belt Club students, and finally what we're working on in leadership team this month. So this will take a few minutes, but please take a minute and watch the ones that, in particular, the ones that are relevant for your child, right? And let's get right to it. If you have a beginner student in class with us, this month we're going to be talking to them about being respectful, right? Which is a very important character concept. It's very central to martial arts and something we cover with them routinely, right? And specifically this month we're going to be talking about just a basic, this week I should say, a very basic understanding of what respect is, which is essentially treating someone else the way they deserve to be treated, right? And then following that up with some discussion about some specific actions and words that we're going to be doing to demonstrate respect, right? To show respect. Some of those are going to be very much like classroom-specific things like bowing in martial arts, right? But many of them are going to be things that are very applicable in the real world, things like saying please and saying thank you, right? And as a parent, I hope you take the opportunity to echo those sentiments at home and have this be a month where maybe we're going to remember to talk about, some table manners, or talk about saying thank you when we get something or someone does something for us, right? So hopefully that gives you some insights as to what we're going to be doing this week. Next week we're going to talk about how they treat themselves with respect, right? And we'll continue to expand on this idea throughout the month, but I'm looking forward to having some real growth in respect with our beginner students. So if you have an orange belt to a blue belt in the school, this month we're going to be talking to them about taking the initiative, right? Which is a very important concept, but not a very easy one. People struggle with procrastination, well, throughout their whole lives, but we can make some real progress if we're working together to develop that within our students this month. Right? Now, what we're going to be talking about with them specifically this week is the idea of pitching in when you see something's gone wrong, right? Pitching in when you see something needs to be done, right? So something's gone wrong, there's a mess, do I walk past that or do I do something about it, right? Or when something needs to be done, you walk into the kitchen, you see someone is setting the dinner table, do you just go get your iPad or do you get involved, right? Those are self-starter actions, obviously getting involved. And then we're also going to be talking about the idea of how to ask for help, right? And we're going to talk about a little bit related to martial arts stuff. So you're in class, you're struggling with how to do your spinning back side kick. How do I get help on that, right? And then applying that concept in school as well, right? You're in school, you're having a hard time with your math homework. What are you going to do about that, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about this week. Next week, you should look forward to us talking to them about pursuing our goals and keeping our goals in mind that we discussed with them last month, right? But keeping those in mind as we take the initiative on pursuing them this month. So if you have a student who's in Black Belt Club or leadership team, this month's challenge is going to be following up on the concept of taking the initiative and being respectful and making sure that they're actually following through, right? So the first part of the challenge is going to be related to taking the initiative with your training. We're going to be pulling students out and giving them very detailed feedback as to what they need to work on to get their stripes more quickly, and if they take the initiative, they'll be able to get those stripes more quickly. The second half of the challenge is going to be being respectful at home, doing your chores. They break down to 3 major categories: doing something that's beneficial to you, something that's beneficial to your family, and something that's beneficial for someone else in your family but not necessarily for you, right? But don't expect to actually receive the challenge this week, because we are going to be pulling students out and preparing their training tips. So we'll explain a little bit more about the challenge next week's video, right? But hopefully that gives you some insight as to what we're covering with students in Black Belt Club and leadership team in terms of the training challenge for the month of January. So this month in leadership, we're talking about the gift of the goose, which is kind of the last major concept in Gung Ho, right? And it has to do with using influence instead of authority to motivate the people that are on your team to reach a higher level of performance, right? Now, one thing about teaching kids about how to lead people is they very rarely get to play with the idea of authority, right? They don't get to fire people, they don't get to suspend people, right? But they get to use influence all the time, right? They get you to do things at home for them all the time, right? They have no authority over you, but they have a tremendous amount of influence, right? What we want to do is teach them how to use that influence in a productive way, right? and encourage people to perform on their team, right? And when they do that, man, their leadership skills really skyrocket, right? So that's what we'll be covering with them throughout the month, right? We'll talk about some more details as we get deeper in, but definitely the gift of the goose, really important concept in leadership. Okay, so hopefully that was really helpful for you, right, in terms of understanding what we're covering with our students in class and what we're covering with your family in class, right? If it was, please let us know, right? Maybe let us know in the comment section below or giving us a like so we know that this is something that's beneficial for you and we should keep doing, right? And if you think it's something that's really beneficial and maybe would help someone else, that feel free to share this video with them so they can find out a little bit about what we're covering in class, and hopefully their family can benefit from it as well. Right? Thanks so much. Looking forward to seeing you soon. Take care now. Bye-bye.